welcome everybody. Okay, let's just wait a little bit longer and then I'm going to flip the camera. So today I'm going to show you how I create my tag books, because there are in previous lives when I showed my tag books, there have been so many questions about how I create them. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to print a couple of tags, and then I'm going to show you how I bind them into my little tag books, my little tag journals. And to make you to show you that you don't have to buy a lot of expensive supplies to start gel printing, I'm going to limit myself today. I'm going to use only 3 colors of acrylic paint plus black and white, and I'm only going to print with some found objects, basically waste material. And I'm going to use that to create some tags, and then I will bind a little book. So I'm going to flip the camera now. So as you can see, I have 2 gel plates here. I'm going to work on both plates at the same time, and you will find out that that makes sense during this demo. So as I said, I'm going to use a limited supply. So these are the 3 colors that I'm going to print with, which is a primary yellow, a permanent rose, and a deep turquoise. And then I have white and black. And that's all the colors that I'm going to use today. And for my printing materials, I have here some tags on which I'm going to print. And then I only have some cardboard, like packaging material, and some corrugated cardboard, which is, I think, from, I don't know, from packaging from cookies or something like that. I have a couple of pill blisters, medicine blister packaging, and I have some lids from like milk or juice packs, and I have a couple of hand-cut circles and my favorite cookie tray, which is also great to print with. So this is all that I'm going to use today to create some nice tags. And I want to waste as little paint as possible, and that's why I'm going to work on both on 2 gel plates, and I'm also going to use my tags not only to print on but also to clean my brayer, and then they will actually have the first layer already to print on, which is also a great way to use your leftover paint on the brayer. So let's start with some color on the plate. And here I have my dirty plate. This is how my plates usually look when I'm done with printing. And I just leave the paint on because I like how all the little bits pull up with the next print. And then even if I just started printing, there is already some extra texture and interest in the prints because of the leftovers on my plate. And when we are finished today, probably this plate will look just as this one. I'm going to start on this plate because I want these little bits here, and I don't want my first print to be too clean. If I would put the first layer of paint on this plate, I would get a really clean tag, and I like it if you have the little extra bits. So I have a little bit too much paint here right now, so I'm just going to brayer it off on the tag that I have here on the side. So that's already a good base for my next print. And I might add another color right away, because then I can have those colors mix a little bit and get even more interest. So now I'm just going to take some random material here and move color from one side to the other side. So here I'm picking up some color and I'm pushing it down here again, and that way I'm going to kind of mix all the colors together. I'm going to place my tag on top, and I'm going to use a sheet of copier paper to keep my hands clean when I rub the tag, and also this paper is going to become some nice cleanup paper that can be used very well as collage material. So here's my first layer of my first tag, and here you can see all the little bits that I picked up of the color that was already on the plate, because I only put the yellow and the rose on there. So all the other colors is from the previous prints left behind, which makes it really interesting, and I really like this too. So for my next tag I will again use this paper and then make sure that I get it somewhere here or here, and then I will end up with some lovely collage paper that I can use for all kinds of mixed media projects. So I can print another layer on this one, but I can also just start with a new tag, and then if I have a little left over somewhere that I like on here, then I can just add little bits on here. I don't have to, this doesn't have to be finished before I start with my next tag. So maybe just use this one that I just used to clean my brayer. And I'm going to add some paint on this plate. And I'm also going to add a little bit of the rose again, and then see if I can make some nice purple, because purple really looks nice on yellow. So I'm just going to mix these colors on this plate into a purple. And I'm just going to brayer off my paint on this plate. And again, I'm going to create some texture, picking up paint here, moving it to the area where there's no paint, and also I can do that on this side, and do it also with some cardboard to create a different texture here. And I can just keep doing that until I'm satisfied with what I see. And it might be that some of the paint dries while I'm doing this, but that's okay, because if the paint is not pulling from the plate anymore, I'm just going to add a second layer to pull the paint. So first let's print something on here. I think I might start on this plate now. Ooh, I like the texture of the pill strips, and especially because I haven't used this one a lot yet, you can even see the texture that is in the tin foil on the back. Nice, nice, nice. And I might add a little bit of the blue here on the side of this tag. That's already dry. Okay, let's try this side. There we go. Okay. And let me see, I have a tag here that I didn't finish this afternoon. Let's see if I can add some paint there. Yes. Nice. And then I'm just going to do some very random play. I'm just going to add color here and color there. Add some texture. Pick up paint with different tags and just see what happens. And there will definitely also be some tags in the end that didn't work out like perfectly, but I also have a solution for those tags that I will show you later, because I'm pretty sure I will have some tags that need some repairment. Let's call it repairment. I think this is still quite wet, so it probably will pick up a little bit there. Where's my cleanup paper? Here. So that's already dry. And let's see what I can pick up. Not bad. Really not bad. Okay, so this is already dry and I'm going to use my white paint to pick that up. So I'm just going to add a little bit of white. And apply a very thin layer. And then take one of my tags. No, not working. It's not always working. You might think that it always works with me, but that's not true. And now you can see. This is proof that my tags don't always work out either. So if you ever wonder why I have only nice tags and no failures, that's not the case. I do have failures and this is really yucky, but I'm going to fix that later. So we're just going to continue. Eventually this will kind of pick up. And I'm just going to print over this one. So let's take the cookie tray. Create some texture and I'm going to put it back down here because then it's going to transfer the paint. And I'm just going to, no, I'm going to take a new tag and my paper again. There we go. So you have the texture plus a little bit of what was left behind from the previous print that I wasn't able to pick up before. But now it's going to give me some extra interest on this tag actually, which is nice. Let's clean my brayer on a tag. And create a new one. And I want some green now, some nice green. So I'm just going to mix the yellow and the turquoise. And as you can see, with only these 3 colors, I can create a whole rainbow of colors. So if you just start gel printing and you're like, oh, I need to buy so many supplies before I can even start. No, not true. Just buy 3 colors, your favorite 3 colors of a good paint, plus black and white, and then just go through your look in your kitchen, look at your waste material, your garbage. You will find all kinds of fun stuff that you can print with. And you're ready to go. You really don't have to invest a lot. If you have a gel plate and a brayer and some paint, you can already do so much. Now let me cover this ugly one. And I can spend a couple of hours printing like this, just going from one tag to the other, adding little bits here and little bits there, and then end up with a whole bunch of nice colorful tags. And this looks already a lot better than it did before, don't you think? Yeah, much better. And then I have a whole bunch of tags, and a lot of people ask me, what do you do with all the tags? Well, I make the books. I make books out of them, and these tags are just going to be my backgrounds for art journaling. Sometimes they just stay the way they are because I just like them, and I don't always feel the need to work on them because they can just make me happy the way they are. Now let's add some white here to pick up. That needs a little bit more. Let's pick up some paint from this plate. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Nice. I had a little bit too much paint, white paint, I think, to pick up everything. But that's okay. Let's do another try. Let's try to pick it up with some yellow. And you know, it's totally okay if you don't pick up all the paint, or if your tag has is only half filled with paint, or if you don't have a perfect print, because your print doesn't have to be perfect in the first print, in the first pull. You can always add more layers. And sometimes it works better than other times, like when it's like really warm or very humid in your room. It might be different than it was a day before. You might do the same thing as you did yesterday and still end up with different results. So you will always have to print a couple of tags before you know how your paint is that day, how your printing is that day, and figure out if you need more or less paint. But all is fine. Okay, so now I'm going to show you with my little circles, where did I put them, how you can rescue a tag that you don't like. Like for instance, because you don't like the colors, or it's a bit, the texture is not nice, or there can be many reasons why you don't like a tag. But then there are easy ways to rescue your tag. So I have this one from this afternoon that I kind of messed up and I don't really like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer of black paint. I'm just going to roll it out. And this paint is also acting very strange on my plate. I don't know why. But let's just try. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to add some of the circles. And then I'm going to place my tag right on top. And I'm going to cover up a big part of the tag with the black paint. But I will have the pattern and the colors that I didn't like this afternoon in the open areas. So now I could take, for instance, like a white pen and add little white marks in here to make the circles stand out more. I could also do it with white paint and you would get a totally different effect. But that's a really easy way to rescue any print that you don't like. And of course you can do it with circles, but you could also die cut stars or hearts or whatever shape you like, and create colorful shapes on your tag that suddenly the colors and the texture look really nice where you didn't like it before. Okay, so I think if I want to show how to bind the tag book, then I should start doing that right now, so we don't do as much printing as we usually do. But that's okay, because sometimes it's just fun to see what you can do with the prints, right? So I'm just going to put my plates aside. And I'm totally going to leave this on here. I'm not going to clean it. Next time I start printing and I add a layer of paint on, for instance, this one, these lines of the circles will actually show up in my print and probably create some nice texture in there. So that's fun. Now, I also have some tags made this afternoon. This was also one that didn't print perfectly, so the paint on the side was already dry and it didn't pull, but actually I really love the distressed effect that you get here. I really like that one. Okay, let's take some tags that are dry, have dried very well before I turn them into a book. Let's make some room. So here we go. What you need. Now, first let me show you the books. So these are the kinds of books I make with the tags. Let me put this aside. So this is the one from the video that I showed this today on my Instagram feed. These are all the tags of my Gel Inktober challenge of last year that I put together in a tag book. And then I have some random tag books that I created from all kinds of random prints like these, but also smaller tags, so you get a tiny little book. And here I actually worked on all the tags, and I totally finished it. So this is an example of what I did before, where I printed with the circles, and then I used a white pen to create the lines and finish the tag like that. And also you can do it with tags where you bind it on the short side, so at the bottom instead of on the side here. So that's also a possibility. What you need is first of all your tags, and then I have strips of paper, and the strips of paper are the size of the side of one of the tags. So between here and here, not this height, but like this. And this is about, I think, 5.5 centimeters, which would be maybe 2 inches, something like that. And I'm just going to fold that strip of paper. And let me just clean my fingers. Just take the most of the paint off. Okay. Yes. So I fold the strip of paper, and I have a whole lot here already, so you don't have to watch me doing that. Then you need your tags, and you need double-sided tape, and it can be a tape runner like this. It can also be on a roll. You could even do it with a liquid adhesive, but I like the tape better because it doesn't, I don't know the English word, but you don't get the waves in the paper. I really don't know the word, but I'm sure you get what I mean. And you need some tape to do the spine, to cover the spine, and I'm using physio tape or sports tape. And the physio tape you can actually get in a variety of colors, and I think the sports tape too. And you could also use the tape that people use around their tennis racket or their hockey stick. So that kind of tape. You could also use sticky back canvas or just fabric, self-adhesive fabric. You can use that too. So I'm going to use the sports tape today, and that's to create the spine, to cover the spine of your book. So first I'm going to apply the tape on the inside of my folded strip of paper. So on the inside I do one side, and I put my tag in there. Make sure it's lined up at the bottom and in the fold like this. And then I'm going to apply my second tag on the opposite side. So I'm just going to line up the two tags. Then I can close my strip of paper. And now I have 2 pages already. So let me do one more. Double-sided tape. Line up my first tag. It's easier if I take it in my hand like this, line it up at the bottom, close it, and another line of adhesive tape. Next tag, line them up and close. So again, I have 2 pages. Now I did some already today, so you don't have to watch me do all the gluing together. And I can turn these into a book, so you can already kind of see what the book would look like once it's done. And I usually don't really look at any order. I just totally random put the books together, and then I just go with whatever I have. But you could totally look at that, at the order and the colors, having the colors together, but I don't. So you have to hold on to 2 tags to create your cover. So this is one I made a little while ago with alcohol ink on the gel plate, and this is going to be my front cover, and I'm going to pick one for, let's do this one on the back. Okay. Now I'm going to bind the book, and to do the next step you have to make sure that you have like a really flat surface that you work on, and that you can kind of keep your pages upright the way I'm doing right now, because that's the best way to get a nice and straight book. So here, this one, this was one of my first tag books, and you can see that I kind of messed up here, and it's not nice and straight because I didn't work on a flat surface. I didn't really line them up, and now it's kind of a bit wonky, and a lot of people will say, it doesn't matter, but it really annoys me. So now I make sure that I always nicely line up my pages so I get a nice and straight book. So the first 2 pages are the most difficult. Once you have the first 2, it will get easier. So what you do is you just apply the adhesive on the outside of the first 2 tags, and then you take the second 2 tags and you put this upright on your flat surface, and you put the other one in front of it, and then wiggle it kind of between your fingers to get it lined up at the bottom and the top. And because your surface is flat, you will always know for sure that at the bottom they will line up. They will be perfectly straight. And you just push them together. And then you have the start of your book. The first 4 pages. And the first couple of pages are the most difficult because they're very thin and still very flexible if you only have a couple of pages together. But the more pages you have together, the sturdier your book will get, and the easier it will be to keep it upright. So make sure that you don't have it like this or like this, but have it upright, so you always know that your pages will be lined up at the bottom. And then you just continue doing this, putting 2 pages in front of the ones you already glued together. And once you are have done this a couple of times, it gets so easy to do that you can create a book like this in like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you will have a whole book finished. So I can do it quite quickly now. But at first you have to get it gets easier when you do it more often. So now you can see it's becoming a real book. How fun is that, and how easy? No difficult binding techniques. Very easy way of creating a quick, fun book. So if you're interested in creating artist books or art journals in different ways, then maybe you might be interested in a new workshop that I'm teaching together with my friends Marcia Falk, who is also a Gelli Arts brand ambassador, and Natalie Kalbach, who you might know from Creative Jumpstart. And the three of us are doing an online workshop that's called Beyond the Paper. It's starting on Monday, April 4. It's 3 weeks, and all three of us fill a whole week with workshops, like a video each day, and we all create a book. So all three of us create a different book. You get 3 different books, and the fun part of this workshop is, as the name says, beyond the paper. So we're working on a variety of substrates. Different substrates, different mixed media techniques, except paper. We're not working on paper, on all kinds of different substrates. So if you're interested, but you're not sure, or you have questions, we're going to do a live webinar tomorrow at noon, New York time. And we will talk about the workshop and what it's about, and the products that we're using, and the techniques that we're, a little bit about the techniques that we're doing. And you can ask questions. So I think Madison will put the link in the comments. If you're interested, you can sign up for free for the live webinar and learn about this workshop. So I'm almost going too quick now, because I'm almost was going to put this cover here, but first I need to do the spine. So now I have to take out my tape. So this is an adhesive kind of fabric tape that I can just apply around the spine to cover it, so you don't see this anymore. And I can put it on as it is, or I can take one of the colored ones. But you can also, I don't know if I have it here or that I've put it away. I'm not sure. I don't think I have it here. But what you can totally do is paint this, or even gel print it. And then, so you have some color and pattern on there before you apply it around the back. But you can also do that afterwards, after you've applied it. I don't have my little sample here, but that's okay. So I'm going to measure the tape, and it is sticky, so it's a bit of a hassle to do it. I'm just going to put it on here, overlapping a little bit, and lining it up here at the top, like this. And now I'm just going to cut it off. Scissors. Here we are. So I'm just going to cut this. here we go. And now I can just fold it around the spine. So when you determine the size of your book, I mean how thick you want it to be, you have to look at the tape that you have and how wide it is, because you have to be able to fold it around the spine. So for a really thick book like the one I showed before, you either need a very wide tape or you need some sticky back canvas, because you can cut that to size. I think the sheets are I think there are different sizes, but I think there's a sheet that is like 12 by 12 inch, so you can make it as wide as you need it to be. So now my spine is covered. I could now paint it if I want to, but I can also just apply my cover. So again, I'm going to put it upright like this, line it up, and apply the tag to the cover. And also one on the back. It's better to do it on the paper than on the canvas. Why isn't this working? There we go. And now it's empty. Of course it's empty. Let me see if I have another one here. No, well then I'm just going to use something else, which is a double-sided tape. As I said, it doesn't really matter what you use. So, taking this off. And then applying this on the back. And there we go. One book ready. It's that simple. And now you can just keep it like this and admire your beautiful prints, or you can totally use them as background to work on, or maybe just put a quote on there. You could even use it as, you can even make it like a mini book. When you're a scrapbooker, you can totally put photos in there and write some stories in there and make a little book. It's also really a nice gift for people. And you know, even if you have tags that might not look perfect when you have them on their own, once they are in a book like this, they suddenly seem even nicer. I don't know what it is, but that's how I feel it. Okay. Okay, question. What is the thickest book you can make with this kind of binding? Well, they can be really thick. And let me see. Let me get one. I will get. And they are like this thick. And so these are not made with tags, but with just rectangle sheets of paper. But you can, it works the same way as with the tags. And then, yeah, you can make it like this big. If you have the sticky back canvas. So this is done with the sticky back canvas. There's no sports tape. At least I don't know of any sports tape that is this thick. The benefit of sticky back canvas is that it's not stretchy like the sports tape is, so you can actually create a nice straight line and have the canvas on top of the cover, instead of what I did with the sports tape. I always do it underneath the cover because it's so stretchy and you don't get this nice straight line. You can also use bookbinding tape, of course, that's made for it, so you can get that nice straight line. And while we're here, I might as well also tell you about another workshop that I'm going to teach real soon, which is going to be a live workshop, a 2.5-hour live workshop. And I'm going to teach it in a private Facebook group. And we're going to make, in 2.5 hours, we're going to make a whole bunch of washi tapes. So these strips on these tags are all different washi tapes that I created with different techniques and different products. And I think Madison has put the link to the workshop also in the comments, so you can find it there. Do you further embellish your own personal books, or do you like to create them to showcase your Gelli prints alone? Yeah, some of the books really are just to showcase my Gelli prints, and I used to take them to workshops, like in-person workshops, and I could just show the different techniques. And for instance, this book is just all my prints I made for Gellinktober, so I can just go back through it. It's kind of a reference. But I also use my books as little journals. So here, for instance, I actually worked on top of the tags, and this is not all finished, but some of the pages are finished, some are not. And I might completely fill the book, but I might also only do some pages and leave some pages the way they were before. It's just however I feel, of whatever I feel like doing. And I have so many of these books and so many tags and so many prints. I could never in my life fill all of them. But even if it's just the Gelli prints, sometimes that's enough. And just adding some sentiments or a quote can be enough. Okay. I think that I actually told you everything I wanted to tell you today about working with limited supplies and how to create these books. And I hope I inspired you to create your own little books. And when you do, please share and tag Gelli Arts or me, because we would love to see what you create. And so that's it for today. I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye. Bye.